situation, but this is the way my family always makes coleslaw. And since we have like the creamy potato salad, I wanted more of a vinegar-based coleslaw. And it's also good because you don't have to keep it refrigerated. So it starts with a cup of sugar. Don't be scared. Okay. Oh, and then a 1/3 cup of vegetable oil, and then 3/4 cup of white vinegar. And you can add a little more if you want it a little tangier. And then 2 teaspoons of celery seed. The celery seed is what gives it its different flavor. And then salt and pepper. Also gets just a dash of yellow mustard. And you only have to cook this until the sugar dissolves. So it'll come to a boil and it'll cook down for a few minutes, and then we just pour it over the cabbage. I didn't know it was called Amish coleslaw, but this is the way my aunt has always made it since I was born. All right, while that's going, I'm gonna chop up the cabbage. All you need is just 1 small head of green cabbage. So I like to just get it cut into more manageable sized pieces and then shred it up. I like the really long shreds because that's just reminiscent of what I've grown up eating. This is way prettier than the stuff that comes in a bag. Cut the same way you want to cut an onion. So just like a medium onion, thinly sliced, it gets kind of blended in there, and just slice it as thinly as possible. It does shrink down a little bit as it marinates, but it stays nice and crunchy. And you want to pour this over while it's hot. Then you get those little flecks of celery seed in there. It's so delicious. It's already happening. That's gonna be good. Not only can you make this ahead of time, you need to make this one ahead of time. So this one I would make at least a day before, but you can make it, even 2 days before. We are there. I'm gonna chill this, and then we are heading out to the grill. Barbecue chicken. There is nothing more all-American than a barbecue than barbecue chicken. I'm cooking these up the way like my dad used to. The cuts that I'm doing the most of, drumsticks and thighs. Bone in. These are gonna be your cheapest pieces of chicken, and they're gonna stay the juiciest on the grill. Now, some people do like just white meat, so you do kind of need that if you're having a party. But when you get these bone-in chicken breasts, they are just gigantic, And so it's really hard to grill when they're this big. So I like to cut them in half. Now you've got 2 smaller breast pieces. A couple months ago, I learned about the amazing thing that is pickle brined chicken. Marinating it in pickle juice and then grilling it was like some of the best grilled chicken I have ever had. So I think it will work just as well with this, and that's what I'm gonna do. So we always have leftover pickle juice at my house. My son goes through a jar a week, and I'm not exaggerating. So to the pickled juice, I'm just gonna add a little bit of brown sugar and a little salt and pepper. Brown sugar kind of mellows it out a little bit. It's salty, but it's not too salty, so you can still go in with a little salt and a lot of pepper. All right, and then just a little bit of cayenne. I'm gonna shake that up, and this is our brine. This has so much power and flavor. You don't have to do this too far in advance. Just like an hour is perfect. And I'm just gonna do it in a bag for easy cleanup. So I'm just gonna throw all of my chicken in here, pour the brine right on top. This is going to be the most flavorful, juiciest, tender grilled chicken you've ever had. Barbecue chicken. Because wait, when we get out there, we're making the sauce too. All right, now it's time to heat things up. Before I get my chicken going, we're gonna make our sauce. Barbecue sauce is so easy to make, you really don't have to buy it. I promise you probably already have everything in your condiment drawer on your refrigerator or in your pantry. My mom, my grandmother always just made their own. For me, the base is usually ketchup. Sometimes I'll add a little bit of tomato puree in there also. Now I'm going to attach some recipes here, but really this is where I want you to be creative and kind of make it your own. All the ingredients are generally similar, so just adjust it to your taste. So I'm going in with ketchup. That's gonna be our tomato. I am from Alabama, so we are like a tomato-based barbecue sauce kind of people. But I did live in South Carolina for a while, and that is a vinegar-based situation. So I really like my tomato sauce heavy on the vinegar. So it's really thin, because I think that really cuts, the richness in the meat. I'll definitely add mustard because I love a mustard-based barbecue sauce also. So really, my barbecue sauce is a mixture of all my favorite barbecue sauces. And I like the yellow mustard because it's got that vinegary taste too. And then in some brown sugar. At the end of the day, what I'm looking for is something that is sweet and salty, super tangy, and has a kick of spice. So I like a combination of apple cider vinegar and white vinegar. You can do one or the other. Some Worcestershire, kind of that savory note. A little garlic powder, salt, and lots of pepper. For my heat, I'm going with some crushed